Today, we are going to recap a 2019 movie titled Countdown. The movie begins with a group of young people partying in a house. Courtney and her friends engage around a table and are playing a game. But the game soon turns creepy when Allie mistakes a mysterious countdown app for Kate's weight loss app. According to them, the app tells the exact time someone is going to die. As the young people they are, they all download the app without reading its terms and conditions. Most of them find that they have long years to live, except Courtney, who is first skeptical about downloading the app, but peer pressure makes her download it anyway. The app says she has only 3 hours to live, and so they make her finish everyone's drink as per the rules of their game. Little did they know the severity of the game they'd just gotten into. Courtney's boyfriend, Evan, comes to her aid, and he eventually leaves the party drunk. Courtney wouldn't let him drive in his condition, and she opts to walk home. As she walks home, she keeps noticing a sinister presence following her around, and the app notifies her that she has broken the terms of the agreement. She eventually makes it home in one piece, but the app keeps notifying her of the countdown. But just as she drinks from a glass, she gets pulled up by some sinister force and falls dead the moment the countdown ends. Next, we see Courtney's boyfriend, Evan, who drove into a tree and is wounded. A tree branch is wedged into the exact place Courtney was supposed to be if she had been in the car. The scene now shifts to a hospital, and we see a newbie nurse, Quinn. Quinn spends some time with Evan, who is currently hospitalized and about to go in for surgery. He is worried about the countdown, which reveals that he has only 19 hours to live. But Quinn reassures him that he will be fine. Quinn gets a surprise party from the hospital staff for passing her exams and becoming a professional nurse. While savoring the cake, the hospital staff talk about the app, and some of them download it to find that they have a long time to live. Nurse Amy and the priest dismiss the app as being sinister. Sadly, Quinn downloads the app on her way out, only to find out that she has 2 days to live. Later that night, Quinn goes to her parents' house to pick up her birth certificate. She is creeped out by her younger sister, Jordan, who is making out with a boy in the closet. Before Quinn leaves, she promises to join her father and sister to place new flowers on their mother's grave on Saturday. Back at the hospital, Evan is about to go in for surgery but has only 3 minutes to live. He decides to sneak out to avoid the procedure, and that makes him break the user agreement of the app. On his way out, he notices a dark figure following him and runs into a stairway for cover. There, he gets attacked by his dead girlfriend and falls to his death. Again, at the same time, his countdown ends. Quinn receives the news of Evan's death and quickly goes to get his phone from his room before Nurse Rachel cleans up his stuff. Quinn goes to the morgue and opens the phone with Evan's face to find that his countdown has ended. She gets startled by the dead body's hand moving, and the phone falls off her hand. As she rises from picking it up, she notices his head turns the other way. Quinn eventually cancels the visit with her dad, and the app notifies her of breaking the agreement. Immediately, she starts noticing a dark figure following her. Dr. Sullivan summons her into a patient's room and reveals how he went overboard for the letter of recommendation he wrote for her license. He then tries to get intimate with her. She fights back, and he apologizes. Strange apology, I must say. Quinn tries to tell Nurse Amy about Dr. Sullivan's inappropriate behavior, but the doctor immediately summons the older nurse. Quinn gets home and tries to delete the app to no avail. She surfs the internet about the app and sees videos of people seeing dead people because of the app. Just as she closes her laptop, Evan appears in her room and she runs out of her house. She smashes her phone, but the app comes back on with the countdown. Quinn eventually sleeps in her car only to be woken the next day by Jordan, who comes over to avoid Mrs. Talbot, her babysitter. Quinn disagrees, and they get into a fight about her being a biatch since their mom died. Later on, Quinn goes to a phone store for a new phone to get away from the app. But as she leaves the store, the app updates itself on the new device. She goes back to the store owner, but he couldn't help her. Here, we see that another guy, Matt, is at the store for the same reason. Quinn gets into her car and sees she only has 21 hours to live. She notices the sinister figure standing behind her car. It soon grabs her from behind and makes her car drive into another customer's car. This customer tried to cause trouble, but Matt came to her rescue by telling the customer that he knows he is about to die and wouldn't mind taking a white guy with him. Quinn and Matt go to a bar to discuss their predicament. They decide to read the app's terms and conditions by downloading it on a drunk man's phone. Luckily for the homie, he has 39 more years to live. They conclude that the app is associated with demons and decide to go to the hospital to meet the priest, who eventually refers them to someone who is experienced with demons. As Quinn and Matt leave the hospital, Quinn is summoned by the hospital management while Matt goes to the bathroom. A child tries to open the bathroom door as Matt relives himself. Then, he sees the same child walking through the walls. The lights go off, and he sees his dead brother become a demon and attack him. Phew, looks like the con artist of a doctor lied that Quinn had tried to corner him, and she gets suspended by the management. As they leave the hospital, Matt keeps hearing his brother's laughter. They both go to the church, where they meet Father John, who is an expert on demons. He tells them that the app is a modern version of a folklore in which a prince received a scroll of numbers from a gypsy woman whom he hired. The scroll told him the exact time he was to die in battle, but the prince sends his brother to battle to evade death. The gypsy later revealed to him that for trying to escape his fate, a demon would torment him until the time of his death. He tells them that Satan is a liar, and all they have to do is prove him wrong and hack the app, and its curse will be lifted. Quinn and Matt head to the phone store owner who was about to leave for his Tinder date. They offer him their credit cards so he could help them hack the app. He agrees, and Quinn discovers that her sister, Jordan, also downloaded the app. When they see the names and countdown of everyone who has downloaded the app, the guy adds extra decades to Quinn's, Matt's, and Jordan's countdown, and the change reflects on their phones. When Jordan's phone chirps due to the time addition, Mrs. Talbot seizes her phone till morning. Quinn then invites Matt to spend the night with her, and they talk about the death of their mother and brother, respectively. Quinn confesses that her mom died in a crash as she went out to look for her when she snuck out to a party. In the morning, Quinn notices someone at her door while she cuddles Matt. She freaks out and tries to wake Matt. It happens that Matt is at the door, and a demon is cuddling her. They now realize that their timers have returned to the previous numbers. Quinn quickly calls Jordan, whose phone is in Mrs. Talbot's room. A hand taps Jordan as she picks up her phone to see the countdown changing. The light in the corridor starts to flicker, and Jordan hides under the bed. She starts to hear her mother's voice when a force pushes her bed away, and she sees her mother tied next to her. She runs out of the house and into Quinn and Matt. Quinn, Matt, and Jordan go to Father John, who makes a holy enclosure with salt, explaining that the demons will not get past the salt. Once they can stay alive a second after their individual times, they beat the curse. Before they enter the circle, Quinn kisses Matt in a corner. So convenient. The force starts toying with the light, and they get into the circle. It works, and the sinister figure does not get past the line until Matt's dead brother appears and lures him out of the circle. The force pulls Matt out of the church and onto the road, where he is run over by a car and slammed into a tree. He dies at the same time his countdown ends. Jordan is injured from the commotion, and Quinn takes her to the hospital. Dr. Sullivan treats her, and Nurse Rachel discloses that the doctor abuses her too, and she is willing to join forces with Quinn to bring the damn doctor down. Quinn gets an idea. She wants to kill Dr. Sullivan before his 57-year timeline to break the curse. So, she goes to his office to seduce him and then leads him to the abandoned side of the hospital. She then tries to kill him, but the force will not let her. Just when it was almost Jordan's time, Quinn decided to kill herself with the dose of morphine intended for the doctor. As she is about to inject herself, her mom appears and tries to work up her emotions, but she injects herself and dies. The demon vanishes, and Jordan's timer stops at 2 seconds. As Jordan mourns Quinn, she notices the writing on her sister's arm and a vial of Narcan falling out of her pocket. Jordan injects her dead sister with it, and Quinn comes to life. In the final scene, they go to visit their mom's grave with their father as promised. Jordan also sees the news of Dr. Sullivan finally being apprehended after 3 women testified against him. Just as they leave the graveyard, Quinn gets the notification that Countdown 2.0 has been installed, and the movie ends. Looks like a sequel should be on its way. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. It means a lot to us.